Gentlemen, it seems to be a never ending evening, and I know that with this high information overload, you must be wishing this evening to come to an end quickly. Um, I think we have got a couple of more sessions. I'm going to not take much time, I've got only 3 points to make. And I thought it appropriate to make and share these points to you because I see this audience as business leaders more than technology leaders. Although it goes without saying that you cannot be a business leader without actually understanding technology to some extent. And therefore, it is vital that we look at all of you as a business leader. I worked in Singapore in the last 3 years, and I just came back last Sunday to start my own entrepreneurial company and my own consulting advisory services. But the important point that I thought I'll share with you is this fact that one of the most important leadership agenda and a business leader agenda, no doubt, is transformation. And it is so important that today, for all companies that you represent, there are only two things which are common. One thing that is common is that every company wants to grow. Your company wants to grow, and you want to make your company really grow and become prosperous. And the second thing is that we all worry for future, because we do not know how the future environment is going to turn out, what kind of winds are going to be there, because the speed with which external environment and the winds are changing, it is not easy to cruise and fly as a pilot. And it is so because I think we are now in the era of discontinuity. And what is discontinuity? When you cannot connect past with the future. So future is so unpredictable and so very different that you don't seem to have a linearity anymore. And if that be the case, how do you as transformational leader plan and work out the agenda for the company's transformation? So this is a very important part. And this is a vital element today that I noticed, whether large companies or small companies across Asia Pacific, is the most important part of the discussion. The second thing that I thought that I will share with you is this fact that if transformation is such an important thing to do, and if that becomes as our continuous agenda, it is not a one-time agenda. It's not a one-time renovation of the house. It is a constant, continuous journey. And it is almost like changing the shape of the company almost continuously. Every year you envision a little different shape. And next year, once again, a very different form. So if transformation is nothing but a journey, then it's very important for us to begin to see what is the first mile, what is the second mile, and what is the third mile. Priorities naturally are done by top leadership, of which you are a part of. But one of the things that I noticed, and I thought I will share that, maybe a best practice or not, I can't say, but one of the things that I noticed in Asia, Southeast Asian countries, as the increasing trend of the first mile transformation, it is on the customer experience. And on the customer experience, I notice most of the traction building up towards how do we make our value proposition even stronger. And that's where the technology is beginning to play a lot more role. And not only to simplify processes, not only to make it efficient, how do we make our value proposition stronger? The second area in the customer experience that I notice is multiple revenue streams. As transformational leader, and particularly for people who understand technology, how do we create multiple revenue streams? In fact, there was one company that I was talking to in Myanmar who had 21 revenue streams. And they were obviously tracking. These are the different ways in which they are generating revenues. And they wanted to play this way because they feel that that is making their organization less vulnerable. And that's an important customer piece, because for every 21, every revenue stream, there has to be slightly differentiated value proposition. But that's where I think they were using a technology a lot, altering it in some way, some proposition to make it more compelling. The third thing I saw in the customer experience area is this part of CRM. And that I think is probably catching up here too in India. And I think many organizations are looking at CRM to be a very, very vital component in their customer experience puzzle, really speaking. And this is again a very, very highly technology driven enabler. And the fourth thing that I saw in the customer piece that some of you might be even thinking is how do we measure, capture, and use and leverage voice of the customer. And I think increasingly now there is a trend of using that as an important element in your strategic block. So that's becoming more and more important. And finally, in the customer piece, I notice a lot of discussion in that part of Asia going on in terms of key partners proposition. How are the key partners in the customer piece value chain are being now transforming? And organizations are increasingly looking at transforming their partners who have a touch point with the customer. And this is becoming a very, very important agenda. So there's a second thing that I wanted to share with you. First, that the transformation is extremely vital as business leaders and technology leaders come business leaders. It is even a big blessing. And number two, that customer piece becomes is the first mile of transformation across. There are many other miles, but this is probably one of the early gains, so to say, or one of the more priority areas. Third and the last thing that I want to share is this fact that there is indeed no doubt that technology will continue to become as a very important part in any transformational journey. And we just cannot think of any transformation of any kind without technology part embedded into it. And now this is the difficult part, because today also there has been a discussion. Raman Roy talked about how the new technology is going to move forward, etc. But this is becoming as an important challenge. Many of these CIOs that I spoke to and talked about this part, that while there is overall consensus amongst the top management about what transformational journey must be done, what are the priorities out there, but how do we make sure that technology where you invest are the ones which are enduring, which are lasting? And the answer most of them gave is that we are not looking at any of those lasting or enduring technology solutions. And we are embedding into it a little more flexibility so that on the fly, continuously, we will keep on changing. And this is how I think most of the organizations are beginning to look at. So that's what I wanted to share. I don't want to take more time of yours. It has been a wonderful day today looking at technology, their applications, and I'm looking forward, like all of you, to the award ceremony this evening. Thank you.